銭を山分けせずに済んだな。順平を探すか。
Takže čau, Filipe a Davide. Mám tady další glitch. Tentokrát musíte najít tuto jeskyni, která se nachází tady. Jeskyni Kančí oko. A je to jednoduché. Projde tudy. Porazit.
女子、縄をほどけ。銭は出す。
待ってる。
助かった。こんなところで死ねるか。行くぞ。
待て。てめえが手を貸す番だ。妖帝六人衆を知ってるか。鬼について知ってるか。
あやつは石狩ヶ原で鬼面隊という手勢を率いている。情け容赦ない荒くれ者どもだ。小樽ヶ丘で宝禄玉職人を探しているらしい。
宝禄玉か。先に見つけに行くか。
賊にさらわれるとは。
いくら払えって。
そこらの侍とは桁が違った。銭は蔵袋の中だ。ついてこい。
俺の獲物だぞ。
神隠しの順平か。
蝦夷地一のお尋ね者とはこの俺のことだ。
聞いたことねえな。
が高い値がついてんだ。怪盗を敵に回すとはアホだな。
Oh.
やがれ。
とこしえに隠れてやがる。
Tak poterem. No? Teď už jenom sbírat coiny. náladu pro 70 000. Tak to je tam. Tak, 70 táců je docela dobrý.
In this video, we're going to give you an unlimited Oni Raider Mass Pieces farm. In Ghosts of Yote. Subscribe to the Linus Wilson channel. We give you the secrets to crush Ghost of Yote. So this is
ああ、ふんだへ。
馬っ子がてめえに懐いてる。
心が通うようになってきたよ。いい取引だ。今日は少し馬に乗ろうかな。
Grasslands map, and I recommend you black powder the fastest if you equip the Charm of Caniago, which is found at the Falls Rest Shrine in the south part of the Yote Grasslands map. And I recommend you use a longbow, the Yumi bow, which costs 2,000 coin from Rand the Bower at the Yote Shadow Inn right next to your home, and probably one of the first things you find when you emerge from the prologue. So I recommend you just shoot him. He is one shot with my Yumi bow, which is upgraded to the almost highest level, the second to the highest level. But you could use any method you want to kill him and just loot him. You don't need to do it in stealth, because by the time you loot him, no other foes will probably get to you, and that at that point you're going to restart at the next checkpoint, and you'll gain all the gear that you looted off him at the restart and get to keep it. So I think this is much better than farming the entire base. I've also tried conquering the bases. You do get a reward for conquering the bases, but I found that I rarely got more than 20 mass pieces needed, 250 needed to do all the upgrades for the armor and weapon sets, the 13 armor. Sets and the 15 weapons that you accumulate in the course of playing Ghost of Yote. Now, if you want to start accumulating Oni Masquerader pieces earlier so you can upgrade a few weapons earlier, one way to do that, even if you're very low level and are not ready for the Ishikari plane and cannot get past the boss fight that gets you into the Ishikari plane if you pursue the Oni quest line early, is to start the Oni quest line and go to the north end of the map and enter the gate. And then there's under settings, right above restart of the next checkpoint, or right next to restart of the next checkpoint, is a setting that if you are in a main tail, it'll allow you to abandon. This goes for unnecessary rewards when you never get into the Ishikari plane and you include the Oni Mask as a glitch for the Tokachi range, which is one of the lower level places that you enter with all the weapons and armor that need, and all kinds of other valuable resources to give you the most powerful Atsu you can have. Let me know your comments. In this video, we're going to tell you how to get your full gun parts upgrades for all the weapons that need gun parts that you can get prior to entering the Oshima Coast. So there's two weapons that you only get in the Oshima Coast. They're both guns. There's one's a rifle, one's a pistol. But the other weapons, the katana, dual katana, odachi, kusirigama, yari, and they require using a reset at the next checkpoint, glitch, or exploit. The kind of legitimate way that you get gun parts is that you do the Odachi Master's quest line, you get some gun parts, maybe 5 from that quest line, and then you get gun parts from the 23 bases that are remaining in those regions that are not in the Oshima Coast, which is only unlocked by completing the Oni and Katsuni quest line. So you can't go there before then. But if you complete the Odachi Master's quest line completely, you'll probably loot about 5 gun parts. And there'll be another 22 bases if you have not conquered them. And that's up to complete. Will have base rewards once you conquer the base the day after, items may be abandoned. I have found that kind of get about gun part, are able to upgrade some of those things to the top level if you just go that route and you just try to conquer all the bases before you enter the Oshima Coast, which is not required. You can just go to the Oshima Coast, you just won't get all the gun parts you can prior to getting to the Oshima Coast, which has a lot of gun parts. Now, the exploit or glitch way to get gun parts is sensitive to what you've completed. So if you've not...
さあどうぞ。ちょうどやね。毎度お気に。 気に入ってくれるといいんやけど。他に欲しいもんなんもないか？あんたとの商いは気分いいわ。他に何かあるか？眉間を狙うんやで。
ムクロが怖えってんなら俺が漁ってきてやる。
Not completed the Odachi Master's quest line, and you haven't done his final quest. You haven't conquered the 3 bases in the Tokachi range and then gone back to him and then had that pitched battle and then got the silver trophy for defending his dojo. Then it's possible for you to farm those from that pitched battle at the very end of that quest line and get as much as 5 gun parts each. And so how you farm that is gun parts. So the key, it seems like the lead gun part. So when you get to the pitched battle, you see at the beginning of the battle, you want to do a manual save. Why is this? Because if you do not, you will not be able to farm anymore, right? If you get to the end of this battle and then you get to the cutscene, the automatic save will be after the cutscene. So you need to have a save close to the battle, up to date with how much you've looted. So if you start at 0 gun parts and you loot 70 gun parts, and then it gets to the cutscene, you can't loot any more gun parts than that. And if you go back to your most recent manual save, you'll have 0 gun parts, right? So you need to be doing manual saves each time, right? In a manual save slot. Each time the pitch battle does, each time you get gun parts. Otherwise, you'll have to repeat that if you let the battle go too long. So it's not that you're worried that Atsu is going to die. You're worried that the pitch battle, you get to the Oshima coast, right? And you've completed the Kitsune and Oni quest lines. So that's a long time to wait to get more gun parts. Now, will you get, from that point on, you will get gun parts from the bases you conquer, but just only for the chest, and it's only going to be like 2 to 3 gun parts per base. And so the fewer bases you've conquered, prior bases, because there's 2 bases before you weapons that take gun part totally up the Oshima coast. Or if you're doing a new game and you're not, you just would like to upgrade your gear early, but you don't want to necessarily advance the story. You want to explore and do all the stuff in these regions before you go on. You can fully upgrade those weapons that you get in the Yote grasslands, the Tokachi Ridge, the 2 bows. At that last subscription line is coming up, the eating some food. You've the beginning of the battle for the back end. In this video, inside the bamboo to get in the cave, there's a bear in the cave, and that's it. And there's a loot in that cave, and in one corner is this kind of satchel thing that has copper. And if you have the charm of Kanayago, which you get at the Falls Rest Shrine at the south end of the grasslands, then you will be able to double your. haul with each restart at the next checkpoint. You could fast travel. I found the fast travel was farther away. I also found that if I approached it from the ledge above, I got a little bit closer than if I approached it from the floor. So it's actually a decent money glitch if you kind of convert this metals. You sell your metals. Always shows up, but he also will visit your metals 1,000 grades for about. You want to avoid getting people into met coin in raids, and this might be a good way glitches. People have been asking me about like how do I buy metal, and the answer is it's not easy with coin. But you could glitch it here, or you could glitch the fish, or you could glitch the mushrooms and convert those into metal. Subscribe to the Linus Wilson channel. We give you the secrets to crush ghost.
圧せわしそうだな。料亭6人衆に遺恨を晴らしているそうではないか。良きことだ。あやつらの手勢もおののいている。大立ちを携えし怨霊にな。松前の侍の中にもそなたを称える者がいると聞く。
誰も酒を勧めてこないが。
酒飲みに見えるからだろう。おい、そなたは次の教えを受ける潮時だ。あの掛け軸には代々死から死へと伝えられてきた奥義が記されている。無論拙者も手を加えた。どうやら腕に覚えがある。読み解いていこう、共に。
まずは足を広く構えよ。
何か不満か？
俺は体で覚えるたちだ。
後で弟子どもとし合えばよい。
身をひねり渾身の人たちを振り抜くべし。
気力を一点に集めねばならん。
気力の源は呼吸と心得よ。
敵を前にした時多くの弟子が忘れてしまうのが呼吸だ。獲物の重みに耐えることに目が向いてな。この技は相手の守りを崩し、そして聞いておるのか？
体で覚えたい。
拙者が相手になろう。悔やむでないぞ。
技に手を加えたと聞いたが。
年寄りの師匠どもが空歌に溺れてな。拙者の技で叩き伏せて韻を踏んでいる場合ではないと思い知らせたことがある。大立ちを抜け。
てめえから抜け。年寄りはいたわらなきゃな。
早く抜け。さあ、そなたの技を見せよ。息を止めるな。追いしろ。惜しい。息が乱れているぞ。呼吸を忘れるな。それだ。
構えも呼吸も乱れてない。
この手にも伝わってきた。
もう一度だ。次こそは俺の技で叩き伏せてやる。
そなたなぞ片手で十分だが、今は酒を飲みたい。冷えてきたからな。
俺が火を焚こう。
我が師匠曰く炎は呼吸で育てる。
In this video, we're going to tell you how to do much that to totally upgrades that have katana as a total of, and you just try to complete it. So if you've not completed the Odachi Master's quest line and you haven't done his final quest, you haven't conquered the 3 bases in the Tokachi range and then gone back to him and then had that pitched battle and then got the silver trophy for defending his dojo, then it's possible for you to farm those from that pitched battle at the very end of that quest line and get as much as 5 gun parts each. And so how you farm that is using the restart of the next checkpoint. So you get to keep all the stuff you loot besides ammo. At your restart of the next checkpoint, you'll just start accumulating gun parts. So the key is that you want to get to the end of these pitched battles. So the first half of the pitched battle, they won't drop any gun parts. The second half of the pitched battle, it seems like the leader drops 2 gun parts. One of the big brutes in the second half of the battle drops 2 gun parts, and I think one of the ladies drops 1 gun part. So when you get to like down to 2 people, then you want to restart the next checkpoint. The key thing is once you get to Odachi's redemption and the pitched battle, you see the battle coming, you want to hit your menu and save. You want to do a manual save. Each time you restarted the next checkpoint, at the beginning of the battle, you want to do a manual save. Why is this? Because if you do not, you will not be able to farm anymore, right? If you get to the end of this battle and then you get to the cutscene, the automatic save will be after the cutscene. So you need to have a save close to the battle, up to date with how much you looted. So if you start at 0 gun parts and you loot 70 gun parts, and then it gets to the cutscene, you can't loot any more gun parts than that. And if you go back to your most recent manual save, you'll have 0 gun parts, right? So you need to be doing manual saves each time, right? In a manual save slot. Each time the pitch battle does, each time you get gun parts. Otherwise, you'll have to repeat that if you let the battle go too long. So it's not that you're worried that Atsu is going to die. You're worried that the pitched battle is going to be completed and then the quest will be complete, right? Because once the quest is completed, you can no longer farm gun parts until you get to the Oshima coast, right? And you've completed the Kitsune and Oni quest lines. So that's a long time to wait to get more gun parts. Now, will you get from that point on? We'll get gun parts from the bases you conquer, but just only for the chest, and it's only going to be like 2 to 3 gun parts per base. And so the fewer bases you conquered prior to the Odachi Master's quest line being completed, the more gun parts you're going to get. The more bases you've completed, the less gun parts you can get from completing bases. They're just fewer bases to conquer because you're only getting 2 to 3 gun parts per base. So my recommendation is 85 gun parts prior to allowing the Odachi Master's quest line to complete, because you're just going to get a trickle of gun parts from the bases. You may not want to conquer all the bases before you move the quest line forward too, but you probably would like to upgrade all the weapons and all the weapons that you've got. Those 70 weapons that take gun parts as their final upgrade. There are 2 guns and an armor set found in the Oshima coast that take 125 gun parts to totally upgrade. But those are only available after you've entered the Oshima coast and after you've completed the Oni and Kitsune quest lines. So for those, I don't think you should farm gun parts for those because there are going to be easier farms when you enter the Oshima coast. But right now, when you are not really close to completing the Oni and Kitsune quest lines, or if you're doing a new game and you're not, you just would like to upgrade your gear early, but you don't, you don't want to necessarily advance the story. You want to explore and do all the stuff in these regions before you go on. You can fully upgrade those weapons that you get in the Yote grasslands, the Tokachi Ridge, the Narano Wilds, the Tokachi Range, and the Ishikari Plain. Those 7 weapons, the 2 bows and the 5 melee weapons, you can fully upgrade those if you had the presence of mind to farm gun parts at that last battle in the Odachi's Redemption tale at the end of the Odachi Master's quest line. Subscribe to the Linus Wilson channel. We give you the secrets to crush Ghost of Yote. I think the other thing is that, because this battle is coming up, the better equipped you are, the better. So before you go back to the Odachi Master, make sure that you have gone to camp, you've eaten some food, you've updated all your consumables, all your ammo, and so you have full stuff. Of everything so that you can kill the enemies as fast as possible. So this farm took me about 2 hours to go from 0 to 75. I think you can do it a lot faster depending on your difficulty, depending on your skill level, depending on your play style. But it's a lot of foes to get through, and so you have to get through the foes at the beginning of the battle for the back end foes which have gun parts to spawn. So you can't loot at the beginning of the battle. You can loot, but you're not going to get gun parts. It's at the end of the battle, and then you have to be careful that the Odachi Master does not kill the last person, or you don't kill the last person before you restart at the next checkpoint, because that whole battle is wasted, and maybe several of the battles are wasted if you are not doing what I'm advising you to do. It's doing a manual save prior to every replay of the battle. You want to put that manual save in, otherwise you can lose all your progress on farming the gun parts. Alright, good luck. Let me know your experience in Vader Pass and how you can farm and glitch.
あの技に通ずるだろう。寒い、早く温めろ。
あれほどまずい酒は飲んだことがなかった。
酢を混ぜているからな。弟子が隠れて飲むのだ。
なんとひどい師匠だ。
かつてはうまい酒を飲んでいた。弟子と一緒に。だが酔った侍が大立ちを振り回せば始末に応援。だから規律を正した。
そして年寄りの仲間入りってわけだ。
他にどうしろというのだ。侍でありながら戦の行く末を眺めるばかりなのに。六人衆は終えているのか？
あまり。
必ず見つかる。その時は大立ちであやつらの首を落とせ。聞こえたか？誰かいる。獣かもしれんが調べておこう。
松前の見回りがいる。
見慣れている。あやつらではない。
北へ向かう商人の一団だ。は
あ、そうか、よかった。
待て、他にもいる。斎藤の手下どもだ。
何をしている？
ゴーヒアだ。避けろ。
馬に乗れ。道場が燃える。止めに行くぞ。
他の弟子はいいのか？
それどころではない。あのけだものどもは今ここで叩き潰す。これが拙者にとっての戦だ。あの技を忘れてはおらんな。あ
あ、隙を生んで守りを崩す。
あやつらを成敗してくれよ。今だ、やつ。私を抜け。 様に使える忠義の師。この者は我が弟子にして怨霊なり。斎藤家に貸し付け哀れな畜生だ。報いを受けろ。
蹴飛ばさ
見ろ、新手が来た。さすがだ。貴様らを討ち取るのは怨霊とその師匠吉田。死んでも覚えておけ。この大立ちをもって首を切り落としてくれよ。今だ、アツ。お出しを抜け。我こそは道場の主吉田。松原様に仕える忠義の師。この者は我が弟子にして怨霊なり。斎藤家に貸し付け哀れな畜生ども。今こそ報いを受けろ。見ろ、新手が来た。貴様らを討ち取るのは怨霊とその師匠吉田。死んでも覚えておけ。この大立ちをもって首を切り落としてくれよ。身の程を知る。まで。大出しの刃で胸を切り裂き真の像を貫いてやろう。今だ、アツ。お出しを抜け。我こそは道場の主吉田。我に仕える忠義の師。この者は我が弟子にして怨霊なり。最高家に立ちつけ哀れな畜生ども。今こそ報いを受けろ。見ろ、新手が来た。の血の味とくと味わえ、返り血で染め上げてくれる。我らの大立ちで貴様らの使いを木っ端みじんに砕いてやろう。畜生ども。 名店まで。大出しの刃で胸を切り裂き、真の像を貫いてやろう。